Ask yourself the question, what should do it's Shabbos, and we find another proof of this, that we count the days of creation. And we say Hayom Yom Rishon, and we say Hayom Yom Shani, Hayom Yom Shlishi. Everybody's doing fine. So everybody thinks, we're going to hit, such thousands, such millions. What happens is, on Sunday you start all over again. Hayom Yom Rishon Shalom Aleichem. You go back to the beginning of creation. You're holding by X. Tens of thousands or millions or something of days. You follow? Elamai, Shabbos, you go up into completely another world. You go up into beyond time altogether. You're not in normal time, even though the clock works. But you're not in normal time. Because you're in the Shabbos. Of Amira, since you're not in normal time, you've gone up into another world altogether, so that when you come down from that world, then you come down with new koichas altogether. You have a new power. You're not the same as you were before Shabbos came in. That's the whole message of what these great chassidim wanted to give us over, that they wanted to live in a way that they were on Shabbos completely l'mayla mi'azman. And each and every one of us can feel it if he just tunes in. You want to take part in the class? I don't know. You want to sit in? But sit in, because if you hear over there, you don't really hear.
Right, I got to put still in. So.
Okay, whatever. Ismaila, it follows that on Shabbos you go up into a higher thing, and each and every one of us can experience that in his own particular way. In other words, at Shabbos, and therefore it's brought down that on Shabbos you shouldn't talk in the normal way you do in the weekday, and you're allowed to mention all sorts of things, and you're allowed to get angry on Shabbos. It's brought down, Chas v'sholem, you shouldn't say an angry word on Shabbos. Everything's another, how do you call it, a different world altogether, because you're going up into a oilam klali. And therefore it will make sense why it is that Zocher v'Shomer b'dibur echad nemru. We said that was a cloud. And why is it separate? It's all in the cloud. The whole 10 divas were all of them but in a cloud. Because Shabbos is a very special koyach. And you need to continuously live and remind yourself. Shabbos is something which occurs the whole time. Every 7 days is Shabbos, and we see that Shabbos is like a whole new, that a person actually lives on the cloud. By the Aseres Adibros, it's like an Asinus Koyach. We're soon going to mention that. But by Shabbos, it's Mamish a Metzias, It comes into the world. And they say about, this is the other story that I'm going to tell you. Down here in the Beis HaChaim, I don't know if you're familiar, but there's a very famous rabbinic personality called the Be'er Mayim Chaim. Are you familiar with him? The Be'er Mayim Chaim, he wasn't actually a Talmud of the Maggid, and I don't know if he was a Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov either, but he lived at the time that the Baal Shem Tov and the Maggid's message was starting to get through. And I think he quotes every now and then the Baal Shem Tov, what he heard, B'Shem, Baal Shem Tov. But he was very early. But he was a Rav in a place called Chernovitz. And Chernovitz was in Romania, I think, in those days. And it was a special town with a lot of Yidden, and he was the Rav there. When he was already getting old, he came to live here in Eretz Yisrael, and he lived in Tzfat, and that's why he's buried over here. So they say about him that when he went to the mikveh on Friday afternoons, when he came out of the mikveh, he was a head taller than what he was when he went into the mikveh. So you might say, well, you know, that's a bit of a fairy tale, it's a bit of a Polish miser. Look, the Rabbi tells that story. It's brought down in our Sikha, in the Lakuti Sikhas, but they're all checked and everything by the Rabbi also. And it's brought down there that the Rabbi tells the miser that it's well known that the Be'er Mayim Chaim, when he went into the mikveh on Friday afternoon, and when he came out, he was a head taller. He simply got bigger, and the effect of this tremendous oyer of Shabbos, which is a oyer Klali, as we put it, person changed him, and only after Havdalah on Moed Shabbos, he would go back down. After he finished Havdalah, he would go back down. And it's even brought in certain Sfarim that he had to have a separate coat, and maybe even a hat, I don't know, but he probably wore a Shabbos hat anyway. But he had a different garment because he simply got taller, you know, on Erev Shabbos. Oh, mate, Lefi said we see that on Shabbos, it's an aliyah into another geder altogether, another thing altogether. Oh, mate, ask itself the question on the part of the intelligent reader, you know, how am I going to get through this whole crazy oilam hazeh, you know? And particularly that Hashem didn't leave me inside the cloud, but I became a dover nifrad, you know. I became a separate entity. And it's brought down in Tanya, in one place, that the Alter Rebbe says, Adover nifrad bifnei, yesh v'dover nifrad bifnei atzmo. He uses several languages. Yesh v'dover nifrad bifnei atzmo. Isn't it better than that? So I remember I once had a big mashpia called Noam Goldsmith. So he used to say, Yesh, that's Olam Abriya. Yeah. Dover, yeah, das ist Helikopter. Olam Yitzro. Nifrad, he said, Nifrad, that's Olam Asiya, where we are. He said, what is Bifnei Atzma? You know, you've already got to Olam Asiya, and that's already Nifrad. What is Bifnei Atzma? So he said, Bifnei Atzmo is still a fool. He's crackers, you know. He adds on to the nifrad, he makes it even more. Who tippet? You know? Oh man, he makes more. He makes the yes more than what it really is. He's called Kukun. Oh man, Nimtzalov, he said that we're really in a very challenging situation. So how am I going to make my life, you know, a Torah life? How am I gonna, break all this? I'm a yes, but all different, but and I'm living in Olam Asiya. I haven't been elevated into Olam Yitzro. Maybe during davening, if you really have Siddush during davening, perhaps on Shabbat, you might make it into Olam Yitzro or Olam Abriya. It's brought down in the Hemshech, Iron Base. Yeah. That you can actually go into Olam Yitzro or Olam Abriya.
Where in Iron Base?
Yeah. In second volume, I'll show you, in Pasha Boy. Pasha Shmois and Pasha Boy. Don't look it up now. You can look it up after. Right now you got to hear the class. Anyway, I can deal with these guys.
Whoa.
I come to Islafisa that you need koiches, to hold out and to live through this whole amazing, nisayon that Hashem has sent us. And He's put us down davki into this world. And so comes along the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said, that's the Nesinas Koyach, of why he made all the Aseres HaMamores, all the statements of the world. He made them b'mayma echad. Everything is really botel. And what you are is just like a shtalshelus from there. But if you make some sort of kesher with that, then you can bring that down, you follow? And how do you get there? By learning Torah. You get up into the Maimah HaKlali. In other words, that the Torah has this amazing ability that when you learn Torah, you become, as it were, elevated, and you become more sort of Klali. How do you call it? You become more general. You see things in the Torah. Everything is Shem, everything is Him, everything is His. Like the Rabbi Shlomo Al-Kabbalah says, Hishmiyonu El HaMiyuchad. Why did he tell me so? Because he is Miyuchad. In other words, everything is just Him. And it's like a simple equation. So the answer is, everything is Him and He's the whole Metzius. So leave it up to Him, let Him run the world. The whole trouble is that we try interfering with how to run the world. And we think, oh yeah, if I won't do this and if I won't do that, wait, I got to do and I got to be this and I got to make. So the emes is, just let Him run it. All you got to do is just make a vessel, just make a line. And that's what we find stories about Rabbi Zusha, Hanipolim, that he would just go in and he would close the door and he'd say, he would talk to Hashem. And he would say, Zusha has to eat, and he doesn't have a thing right now. And so the Eibishter would check him from heaven, something one way or another. He would get. In other words, that he would leave it all up to the Eibishter. So I don't know if you're going to be holding on that sort of madrega. We're going to let him, calm down, let Him run the world. And that's in the sense. So the same is with Torah. The Torah is also, it was given, Rashi says, it was all said in one dimmer. You don't hear it, it doesn't, it's beyond your ability, but it's working, it's being mashpia the whole time into your learning. If that elevates your learning in such a way that you become able with your Torah to turn your life into a Torah life, you follow? Instead of being in a world and living in a physical world and also understanding Torah, it all becomes one in you follow? With that, we'll be able to understand. I don't want to hold myself up, I don't want to hold you guys up. With that, we understand a very interesting thing. And I once heard this from a Siddur Shiur, but later I found the whole thing before in Amman, the Rebbe Rashab, and the Rebbe's got about it in Amman. And that is that by the Shemitah in Pasha Bahar, right at the beginning, the Torah says that when you come into the land, Shabbos Lashem. The Eretz Yisrael has got to have a Shemitah, it's got to have a Shabbos, you follow? Yeah. And then it says, Sheishanim, you have to sow your field, and Sheishanim, you have to reap your crops and so on. Or on the Shana Hashviyas, Shabbos Lashem. So everybody asks, why did he say at the beginning, as soon as you come into the earth, first of all, Shabbos Hashem. And Ad Keli Kach, that the Meforshim as with pastors, that's mashma, that as soon as you come into the land, you got to make your Shemitah. It's written, Shabbos Ha'oretz, Shabbos Lashem. But then it immediately says, no, 6 years you got to work, and 6 years you got to reap. Yeah? So make up your mind. Elamai, that it tells us that as soon as you come into Eretz Yisrael, you got to know that the whole union of Eretz Yisrael is Shemitah. The whole union of Eretz Yisrael is L'mayla, and you just got to rely on Him altogether. And then you'll do your 6 years, and your 6 years of reaping and everything will be different altogether. You know? And the Rebbe Rashab writes at Mafurish, in a moment of Reish Samut Beis, in Pasha Bahar. That's what he writes. And then he says at the end of the Maimon that a person through davening, he can get into that level. That if you really daven with them as a kavanah, then you get up into the Shemitah, you get up into an elevated state which is really beyond everything, and it's all cloud. and you're just all involved in Keil HaMiyuchad, and then you come down back into the Shei Shonim in the 6 days of the week. That's what the Rebbe says over there. Aber Mela, kommt euch auf diese, you've got these hints all the way over in different places, that there's like a state of generality, and then there's a state of coming into prat. And if you link them, that's what the Maggid said, you got to link them together, you got to make that be mashpia into that. Oh, Mela, if that happens, then it's a different type of life altogether. So, it's the same with Moshiach, you understand? The whole Inyan of the Geula Shlema is the generality. It's the etzem nakuda of what the world's all about. And therefore the Gemara says it's going to be 6,000 years, and the 7,000 years it's all going to be like Chad Charuv, it's all going to be destroyed. So it comes along the Rebbe Marash and Amam, he said, destroyed? Why would Hashem do that? Why would he destroy it all? No, he said, Chad Charuv is it's going to go up into Chad. It's going to go up into one in such a way that all you've been living up to now, you see, was a bit of a ruin. That's not the way to do it. In other words, he's going to introduce you to a cloud. It's all going to be Chad. You know, and then Charuv, you'll see that the whole world is really a bit of a ruination. You know? And you've been living in a mistaken... what's called in the Gemara a mechakto, a mistaken transaction. A mistaken transaction. That probably occurs in that type. Mechaktos. You've been living in a mechaktos. Moshiach is the cloud. And what the Rebbe wants is that we should bring that cloud, Moshiach, into our lives, you understand? And therefore you say, well, why should I mess around? 6,000 years is getting pretty much towards the close anyway. I've already, done everything. The Rebbe said we've already done everything we could really do. And we're all standing at the parade and we're waiting for the general, that's Mashiach, we're waiting for him to come. No, let's get, And the Rebbe, those of us who saw him, and you saw the Rebbe talk about Mashiach, fire, and people who would have Mamish tremendously, and I amongst them. As the one Shabbos just really took off, from what the Rebbe said about Moshiach. Oh, that's the cloud, or that's the kulam. Oh, that's the cloud. You have to bring that cloud down and give koyach, and that gives koyach in the prat. Therefore, if you think about it, all these, Yaakov, wanted to reveal, way back in his day, he wanted to reveal the case. And so it's written in the Gemara. The Gemara said, Masechet Pesachim, the David didn't allow it. He took it away. So the Rebbe said, in a way, you can understand the Eibishter, because if in those days he would have told him that's going to be the case, but it's going to be X thousand years or something, so people would have said, X thousand years, and people would have fallen into, how do you call it? Into despair, what he called years and all this sort of thing. So therefore the Eibishter took it away. Over, he said the very fact that Yaakov wanted to reveal the case, or that gives a koyach to every year that he wants to reveal the case. You follow? Yeah. Wherever he is, he wants to reveal the case. That's like giving a pound. That means that you live with Moshiach. You follow? And when you think about it, that's what's held the Jewish people. Or that's what's holding this amazing group in Oil Vazeh, which is called the Yiddish folk, the Jewish people. What is holding them together? Because they are connected with they were like Rashi says, all the Assyrians and Timbers, all one thing. Yeah, the whole uniform Moshiach and the whole, it's all one tremendous Nakuda, Claudius, and you live with that, and therefore they're another race. They don't fit all the general rules, the specific rules of Adonish. That's the whole Nakuda. And that's in there, what Rashi said. And so now we get the answer. We ask, what do you have to do that for? What do you have to make a cloud and then a prat? Just give the prat. No, you have to give the cloud because that's really what holds everything. That's what is the Nakuda. That's what elevates you and gives you the koyach. That you should be able to make the prat the way it's supposed to be. You know? That's what the koyach is. That's what we see. This amazing thing in the Aseres Dibros and in the Aseres V'Amar is exactly the same thing. And in Moshiach also the same thing. First of all, yeah, this wondrous Chad. Yeah, it's going to be all one thing. Chad, Charuv, and then you'll write off all your previous ideas, you understand, about this world. And we'll be like we were with Shimon Stanley this morning. We'll be just no James. Yeah. Nobody knows anything with the stuff in Chad. Atu Chad v'loi b'chushban, like we say every Friday. Yeah. You are one. We're not in the, how do you call it, all the arithmetical calculations. You know, we're not in it anymore. Atu Chad. And that's the idea of Chad Charu. If you hold by Chad, then it all sort of ruins your whole idea. And that's what Rashi says. If you get up and just, let that affect you in the Aseres Ma'amaros and Aseres Ativos, then you're in a different world. You're in Chad. We're all called Chad b'chushban. Or we're not completely out of chushban. And that's why, just by the way, that's why it's called Pasha Bahar, where that principle is. Because a mountain, the Medrash says that Hashem could have given, if he wanted to give the term a low place, a humble place, he should have given it on a field, maybe in a valley, maybe in a hole. Why, if he wanted a humble place, why did he give it on a mountain? So he says, because the emes of humility is you got to be a mountain. You got to realize that you have koiches, and you got to use them. You got to realize that you do stick up a bit, and a mountain sticks up. It's a matter, you can't be what's called in Yiddish a smartut, or it's not called in Yiddish a smartut. A shmata. You can't be a shmata. You're not allowed to be. You have to realize that you do have koiches, and you can stick up a bit, and you should. You have to. I can't, but in that kufa you have to be humble and low. In that kufa you got to hold by chad. So chad. Yeah, and therefore you're humble, but you're not humble. You're a helikat, a koya. You're a mountain, but in that kufa you're a small one. Yeah. Hashem should help us. But came to Yalano. And like the Maggid said, you have to bring the two together, and they should be mashpia, one and the other. So we have to have Mashiach now. We have to have the Poyo. So Zayin al Inyonim, they should all come together, should meet together. Zayin the Inyan from Poyo. And I don't need to tell you what Mamash is a Rosh Hashanah. Have a good day, everybody. Have a very successful